Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you? How was Sitges?
Sitges was great. We really enjoyed the festival, and the movie was liked. So that was the main thing that made Sitges great for us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider that Diabolik is a genre film? Because Sitges, it's very focused on fantastic films and horror films. How do you see Diabolik fitting in Sitges?
First of all, we think that every film is a genre film. There are different genres, So even a family film is family genre, So everything can fit. But you ask us if it's a fantastic film. Mm-hmm. It is for two reasons probably. One is taste, because I think Sitges is full of films that they don't really have a fantastic element. But it's a horror movie, this is a noir, so maybe it belongs to those type of taste. I don't know if I get what I mean. And in the meantime, Diabolik has the ability to put a mask and look like someone else, which is impossible in life. So this is fantastic.
It's fantastic. In some ways, fantastic, yes.
Yeah.
But we were a little bit afraid at the beginning, because this audience maybe is used to see blood and fantasy, and Diabolik is just a noir, the old style noir. But they liked it, so we are very happy.
I see you're wearing a T-shirt from El Día de la Bestia. Do you like Álex de la Iglesia?
Yes, we like Álex de la Iglesia very much, especially this movie. We are fans of this movie, so we were in Spain. I saw a kiosk in Sitges selling the T-shirt, and I bought it.
Did you meet him in Sitges?
Just
yes. Meet, but not speak with him. But
okay. Let's talk about Diabolik. How did you? How's your relationship to the original comics of Diabolik?
We were readers. We were passionate readers. But everybody's a reader of Diabolik in Italy. It's like, I don't know, it's like an Italian tradition. Every Italian, when he goes on train or goes to toilet, reads Diabolik. So we read, and it's years we felt like it's the only comic book that we could make an Italian movie, because I don't know in Spain, but in Italy, unfortunately, most of the comic books takes place somewhere else. Takes place in South America, in the States, in London. Diabolik takes place in an imaginary country, which is Clairville. That looks like Italy. So it was the only comic book that we could make an Italian movie out of.
And there's an old movie about Diabolik, right? From the 60s, I think?
Yeah, in 68 there is a movie. The director was Mario Bava. Mm-hmm. It's a really good movie, but it's not Diabolik, because it's very different. It just takes, Mario Bava just takes the title, but then it changed it a lot. It's more a spy story, more like James Bond, like Swinging London type of movie, type of film. And so this is the first movie that it's faithful to the comic book. And we are very fans of the comic book, so we wanted to do exactly what the comics was.
So this was your main goal, like being very faithful to the original comic, in the tone, in the colors, I don't know.
First of all, Diabolik is a black and white comic book.
Yeah,
so
but
in the tone, yes.
Yes, I know that because I explored it this morning, but I meant the texture of the comic.
I was joking. Let me say that it's a complex answer. I think that if you take something from something, if you make a movie out of a book, if you take a movie out of a song, there even exist movies out of songs or out of comic book, you have to be faithful, because if you're not faithful, there's no point in doing it. You can do your own movie. So I think that faithfulness is a goal that everybody that makes something like that should do. But faithfulness doesn't mean you have to be faithful to the media, to the comics, to novels. You have to be faithful to the flavors, the colors of the story, the emotions, not the media. So we try to take Diabolik, take all the ingredients of Diabolik and make them cinema instead of comics. So we try to end our solution, our idea is to make old-fashioned film noir.
Okay. And was it?
But it's our own interpretation of Diabolik, so I don't know. We
Yeah.
want to be faithful, but I don't know if we are.
And was it Luca Marinelli's name, the first one to come to mind when you were thinking about Diabolik, the casting?
No. We were after writing the script, we were very worried, to find the right actor, because Diabolik, it looks easy to do, but it's not. It's not at all, because it's very cold, but it's very fascinating. It's very mean, but the audience has to be, his side. So it was very, very difficult, and we did some
Casting.
casting. We did a casting. We thought about Luca. Auditions, yes. Luca told us, yes, I want to try, but I want to have an audition too, because Luca is a very big actor in Italy. And so we had an audition with him, and we worked well together, and it took the right spirit, yes, of the character.
I was thinking about the Josani Sisters, because they are not very well known in Spain, and it is huge that they were like the authors of this important comic in Italy. I don't know if in Italy they are well recognized, like people know that two women were responsible for this.
Also, this is in a way is a complex answer, because they are known because Diabolik is the only thing they did all their life. So they are known as famous as Diabolik because that's what they did. But as a matter of fact, there are two factors. One factor is that Diabolik he wants to be a popular comic book, not a hard comic book. So like everything that is popular, the author doesn't come out that much. So it's especially a comic book to read. So no, we didn't know when we were reading who was the author at one point, but there was written in the first page by A and L Josani, which I didn't even know there were two females. And I discovered later that they were a little bit hiding, because the noir genre, especially the exploitation noir, la Fantoma, is a male genre, so they were a bit hiding. But the second thing is now they're becoming a bit famous after the film release. There's much talk about, there are documentaries, there are podcasts about the Josani. And what is interesting is artistically they only made Diabolik, but their life was very interesting, and probably they are a symbol of feminism. Just to tell you one thing, Angela Josani is the first woman in Europe that when she got divorced, she was paying
alimony,
yeah, to her husband because she was richer. And that's very interesting for a woman. She was the first, and you have to think that her husband was a publisher as well, and his publishing house name was Astoria. Angela Josani called her publishing house Astorina, Little Astoria. So she started being under her husband, and she went up. So the story is very interesting. And I think that Diabolik, the last thing, I think that Diabolik is its particularity, its difference from Fantomas or Arsène Lupin, is that it's written by females, and you can really tell. Mm-hmm. So we joke sometimes saying that we try to be the Manetti Sisters instead of the Manetti Brothers to really catch the spirit.
Of course. But you're brothers, and you share the directing process in your films. How do you do that? How do you share tasks?
It was a long. We worked together from it's 30 years maybe that we worked together, and it was very hard at the beginning, because a lot of chaos around. Because when you film, when the troupe is there are many people, many people. So just one voice. They need just one voice. We are two. And so we divide. Me, I'm also a camera operator, so I do the shots and the camera movements and everything, and Marco speaks with actors. But the other things, writing, preparing the movie, the casting, and the editing at the end is all together. So, but during the set, we split things to do.
Okay. I'm very interested in the relationship between a director and the actors. How do you relate to them? How do you speak to them on the set? Because some directors, they remain silent behind a monitor in Video Village. Others are besides the camera and giving orders all the time. How do you do it?
It's
we are two, no? So one is the monitor, one is
you divide the process.
Apart from that, it's a difficult thing because we think that the actor, you can be happy about that, you can be unhappy about that, but the actor is an author of the movie because he puts in his own soul inside the movie, he puts in his look, he puts in his emotions. So a director has to interact a lot with an actor, but in the meantime, that's why I feel that the question is difficult. You don't have to tell him too much. You have to tell. So what we do, what we would like to do when the relation is perfect, is to talk with him or her about the character they are playing, what we think about the character, what the soul of the character is. And then we hope that once the actor or the actress catch that character, she does it, she don't need us. So basically at the end of the day, maybe during the set, we are a little bit on our Video Village, but we are not the type of directors, because there are some directors like that they don't relate. We relate a lot with actors. We have a strong relationship with actor, but we try to remain silent and correct when we think is needed.
I understand. In the poster we have there behind you, we can read Solo en cines, only in cinemas, and it's becoming a rare thing that movie is going to be shown only in cinemas, because we are in a changing world environment. Everything is moving very fast. How do you see the future of this business? How do you see yourselves showing your work in 5 or 10 years?
I don't know if I'm not sure. I'm not a future predictor. My feeling is that there is a wrong idea, especially in Europe, that cinema theaters are old. And today there's platforms, and today there's internet, there's a phone. You can watch a movie in a phone. And I think that right now, in this very moment, so I'm happy it's written that, because right now is maybe cinema owners, distributors, that they don't know how to read what is going on. And so they don't give the right offer. Because I think that going to cinema is beautiful. It's not important. It's not something to protect. If nobody wants to go to cinema, it doesn't matter. No? But it's beautiful. It's a good evening to pass. So I think that they have to understand that it's not a museum. But the distributors, the owners of cinema, is a experience that the spectators do. And I always do an example. I don't know if it's gets to the point. It's like saying that being able to cook home will close restaurants. It doesn't happen, you know. Cooking home is easier and easier. There's Just Eat, but restaurants are full when there's no COVID around the streets, you know.
Okay.
So it's an experience. We have to understand that going to cinema is an experience. And I tell you one last thing. I don't know in Spain. In Italy, we think there is a proof of what we are saying. So we don't need to predict the future. In Italy, now cinema is going down a little bit, not a little bit, maybe more than a little bit. But there are some movies that really go well. There are just some, especially Marvel movies. They go very well, very well. So think about it. How can something be going down when the only public is young? It's all kids that go to cinema. If it was all the old men that would go to cinema, I would say cinema is going down, it's finished. But if it's kids, it means there's something, the new generation, that makes cinema interesting. So we just have to catch that thing with humbleness and proceed to make cinema an experience, I think.
You may be right. Marco, Antonio, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.